Hello and welcome back to Own Your Peace. I have one of my favorite humans with me today. I'm so excited to introduce you to Julie Larson. There's like a million ways I could introduce you because you're literal human magic. She is a shaman. She is a combo practitioner. She is a medicine woman and she is an astrologer. Do you justice?
Oh,
Like of all your
I mean,
titles.
honor very much. Thank you. I never call any of those things on myself, so
Wow,
I
you're pure magic.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So, as we were kind of talking and discussing before we get on, I'm like, literally, we could talk about 1,000 different things and take this into different million different directions. But you and I have always loved chitty chatting about astrology because
Mhm.
we're kind of nerds about it. And I love that about us. And you have kind of really delved into this new area of study within the astrology world that I have kind of barely cracked the surface on, and I'm so interested in it. So I think I would love to hear more about medical astrology and what it is, what its history is, kind of like what made you aware of it, and kind of like your journey there.
Yeah,
Because, like, again, we could talk about 1,000 different things.
we really could, and I love that about us.
Absolutely. We'll just have to have you back on and talk about something else.
You know, I went down a rabbit hole
Oh,
when
really?
I learned basic astrology. There was one teacher that said one thing about medical astrology, and it piqued my interest. And I was like, wait, there's actually medical astrology? What
Yeah.
is this? What is this magic? And at that time, I was going through a lot of illnesses and symptoms that I had absolutely no idea how to resolve, and neither did my doctors, neither did my blood work. It was all very um, up in the air with, quote, the diagnosis or the illnesses that I was having. And with medical astrology, I went down this rabbit hole and learning so much about myself, about the energy of the planets, it just all clicked. So, what medical astrology is, if you look at your natal chart, it's that circle, that pie shaped, and we have a story around that as we go out throughout life. Well, that story then can, in medical astrology, can tell a story about your physical health and how the planetary placements affect the body, the effect of the organs, your DNA, and the systems within it. And it really depends on the zodiac signs, the elements, and the housing systems that gives us an idea of what your physical body may be doing. And maybe I should plug in and say that I am not a medical doctor. I do not diagnose anyone. This is something that I found really passionate about, and the knowledge and the awareness around it gave me a lot. So, just want to put that disclaimer out.
And in a
But
lot of circles, let's say medical astrology knows things that doctors don't know.
And yeah, exactly. And so this wasn't about preventing illness or is less about the diagnosis and more about the awareness around it and how the
Mm.
energy is designed and functioned and how to stay in harmony with your own body connected to the energetics from above, as above, so below.
I love that.
And those magnetic poles, our body shines a light on. So it's a snapshot of our health and our physical body, and the aspects of the planets tell a story around our chronic health or fertility or vitality, and so much more. I mean, we can dissect a lot of different things and give you insight on it, like progressions and the high leg and all sorts of things with your birth chart and how that plays into the energy of the planets. So, for example,
Okay.
let's say that, we're talking about the sun. In basic astrology, the sun is our ego, it's the sense of self, it's how we view ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So, the sun in medical astrology is now our vitality. It's about how our energy moves. And so, where the sun is placed within the chart, whether that be the zodiac sign, the element, the fire, air, water,
Right.
earth sign, and then the housing system. All of that kind of plays in and tells a story about how it's related to your health.
Love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just, for a funsie, putting you on the spot here, you probably already know. Let's say someone has a sun in Cancer in the eighth house.
Okay. Okay.
What would that look like?
You want to dissect that? Okay.
Yeah, let's dissect that. FYI, that's my placement.
Let's give you a reading.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
because I think it'll give people like I'll be the guinea pig. People can see how this might play out.
Cancer is in the eighth house. Cancer is a water sign. So it's very intuitive. It's very it flows. It's wet. It absorbs things, right? And when it's in the eighth house is actually directed towards your DNA, your ancestors. It has a lot to do, like if you think about the Scorpio, you know, the placement, Scorpio house rules that eighth area.
Right.
It's about the death and the transformation that happens over time. And so you're peeling all of these layers and becoming yourself over time, and also having to do things that your ancestors weren't able to do, that are like in your DNA. So yeah, that kind of tells you a little bit of a story around even your vitality. When it's in water, it's the lowest vitality.
Cool.
I know, right?
Lucky us.
Lucky us.
Julie's a Pisces, so she's also a water.
Yeah. And so like, depending on, fire signs are usually the highest energetic component. They have the ability to fight things off better, and water absorbs things, and it's easier for us to get sick because it's wet, moist, right? The inflammation. It's that, oh, I have to hold all of this. Well, yeah, we just get to move it through our bodies a little bit more than, say, a fire sign, an Aries or a Leo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, water is definitely a little bit more difficult, but to think about the elements of it, what's the opposite of water? Earth, right? And so with Earth, we are the water sign, then we need to be out in nature more. We have to feel more grounded. We have to be in a space that makes us feel comforted and willing to feel healed. We're not wanting to go exert ourselves more. It's just like staying steady, grounded, being in nature, having a lot more plants, you know, those roots, the trees, all of that gives us life with that opposite element. So when you are sick, right, you want to bring in the opposite energy to pull in, because that's what the water is lacking. It's lacking that grounded, it's lacking the earth.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And I have to tell you, like I used to like work out really hard. Like I would run, I would do all these things. I'd lift weights. And, you know, I still lift weights because but it's more like more
That's
Pilates.
important.
Yeah, it's still important, but it's not at the exertion levels that it was in the past. Now I just do my little daily hot girl walks out in nature with my little weighted vest. And
amazing. That's the earth, right?
Game changer for me. Like it is probably the healthiest thing I've ever done for my body. And I can tell you the days that I don't walk versus the days that I do, my mental health and my like really connectivity to my body is so different from the days when I get outside, I get that sun, like I'm in nature. The winters are always hard for me here in Utah because it's harder because I do not like to be uncomfortable, and being out. Thank you. Yeah, walking out in the cold that's going to be trickier for me.
It's cold here.
It gets cold and then it's snowy and icy, and I've got to figure out something else because that like daily walk in the sun is like everything. So
Yeah. And that's what the Earth is, right? If we think about a Taurus loves being in their body and in that space of consistency. And so if we can pull in those signs that we're not fully aware of, but we can grab a hold of even a color that's more grounding, of green and blues, to help us ground into that element more, is really, really powerful. But yeah, being consistent about something is really huge for a water sign, because that can be really healing.
yeah, and I do not have a lot of earth on my chart. I'm mostly water and fire, and that's like it. Oh, I do have a
Fire
lot
and
of
ice.
I do have a lot of
Fire and
Aries. I
ice.
do have a lot of Gemini energy.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Venus,
Yeah,
right?
Venus and Mars
Okay.
are like both in there. And then I want to say there's something else in there too. But it's like it's not like one of the major personal planets. It's like a asteroid or something like that. It's like mostly Leo and Gemini. That's where everything's at.
Cancer, Leo, you're a Sag rising.
Yes. So there's
Yeah.
fire there. And then like
Yeah.
that's where and I know we've had this conversation before, but like I know Neptune in my first house
Mm.
is very problematic when it comes to medical astrology.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Neptune is a planet that rules anesthesia. It rules dream, sleep, water, things that we can't see. And it can be illnesses that we don't understand or can't comprehend, right? There are no
Yeah.
words for it because Neptune is that foggy planet that we can't grasp. When they found Neptune in the sky, anesthesia was brought in that same year.
Oh,
Go
it's
figure.
fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when Neptune is in the first house, it's really about if it's connected to your ascendant sign and you have it
Oh
about
yeah.
7 degrees, right?
It's a pretty tight conjunction. Yeah.
It is a tight conjunction, and it can go both ways. You can be really, really sensitive to things or not sensitive at all to things. And talking about supplements, medications, and anything in between, you either feel it or you don't feel it. And it's kind of a guessing game. I actually had someone recently receive combo, and her first session, she sat with combo for like 30 minutes, not doing anything.
Are you
Like,
serious?
dude, okay. Like this girl, like
That's
first
wild.
session, usually it's like introduction.
You have it
You
on for like
feel
five
it
minutes.
within
Done.
5 minutes, like
Yeah.
you're starting to feel it in 30 minutes. She's barely feeling it. And so I get that question of, I need to see her chart. I really think that Neptune is in her first house. And sure enough, I get the courage enough to ask her for her birth chart.
She's like just sitting there not doing anything.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, is it okay if I look at your birth chart, because I have an idea of what's going on, but I just want to make sure that if I do put more combo on you, that it's safe enough for me to do so."
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And me checking that, and sure enough, it was in like 1 degree
Oh,
of her ascendant sign. And you're like, okay, this girl needs a lot more. And I tripled the dose and she started feeling it. And this isn't something to like do for people that are listening that are practitioners. Don't do that unless you absolutely are aware of that portion, because I wasn't willing to give her triple the amount
nor
unless
should
I
you.
saw it
Yeah,
on paper. So yeah, that was fascinating.
that is
But
fascinating.
yeah, Neptune is connected to a lot of autoimmune diseases and illnesses that people can't, chronic things that can't quite grasp. And I think that's very telling with what you have experienced in
Yes.
the years I've known you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a fascinating planet, but you're also very in tune with your body. And I tell this to people when it's either in the first house or the sixth house. You really are your own practitioner.
Yeah.
You know what your physical body needs, and going into a meditation or asking your body what it needs more than allowing somebody else to tell you what it is, you know?
Yeah. This is why I love astrology. Like you can pretend it's not real, you can say it's just, woo woo or whatever, but like in lived experiences, that's totally my experience. Like I literally have a
Yeah.
stack of autoimmune diseases that doctors want to prescribe me with. But the more I listen to my body, and every time I go in, they're, how are you functioning?
Yeah.
They're so surprised because my results on my tests are terrible. They're like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be able to get out of bed every day. But I live a very vital, I actually have quite a bit of energy for everything that they've diagnosed me with.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating to me because that totally stacks up with my lived experience. Like I have all those things. They could tell me I have all those things, but it hasn't affected my reality.
And I think that is great because, Sagittarius that's a fire sign. That's your first house. Your first house is your physical body. So you do have more vitality looking at that. And with all the fire that you do have in Leo, it gives you a little bit more energetic components. That's not to say that you're still not dealing with things, that you
Yeah.
still don't have the energy that you should. But yeah, Neptune is fascinating. We were on a trip with our family and it was in Idaho and we were out on the water and my daughter and I got stuck in like the marsh in one of the boats that we had and so we had to go get my husband and he had to come swim to us because the marsh was so deep and he couldn't like get another boat stuck. I kept saying don't come this way because it's so bad. It's really hard to swim. And you could see that he was like sinking and like
Oh my
almost
goodness.
drowning. And it was so frightening. And after like we figured everything out, he was like, yeah, I had a moment where I was like, I think I'm gonna drown. Like this isn't okay.
Oh,
This is
Daniel.
like, yeah, seriously, it was so fascinating. And when I learned about Neptune and looked up the date of when that happened, Neptune was transiting over his south node at the time. Neptune
Oh,
deals with water, and the south node in your chart is actually your weakest point in your medical astrology.
okay.
And it was
Also
very
a water sign.
telling. Yeah, yeah,
Because he's a Pisces
Pisces
South Node too, right? Yeah.
Pisces South Node. It was transiting over that. And yeah, there was this level of holy cow, that's insane. In hindsight, you're like, okay, stay away from the water when the Neptune isn't transiting your South Node, but now we know.
No, don't do that.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
transiting his North Node now, so. Well, no, yeah, it's his South
Neptune.
Node. Yeah, no, Neptune's in.
Neptune, well, it's still now it's in Pisces again, so it may not come, it could come to his south node again, but now we're more aware of
Now
it
you're
than
where we're
anything.
not swimming on this day.
We are not swimming this
We're
week,
not doing an
guys.
ocean vacation this day.
No.
No.
And that isn't the only story I've heard. I've heard from a medical astrologer, and she goes, "Oh, if I see that, there is no way I am going near the water. I am telling my clients, do not do this." And sure enough, some of my clients go and have like a summer vacation and have this happen. Well, lucky for me, or lucky for them, they have a wife that's certified in CPR and got them back to life. But seriously, it's like the energy, man.
You can't make
Stars
this stuff
talk.
up. They do, and they have an effect on us. And it's so helpful to have this information because it's awareness. And when we have
Yeah.
that awareness, we can do something with it.
Yeah.
And I always say we're always like, we're always in the driver's seat, but this is really good information to know. Like, don't let it hold you back, but let it be awareness
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I first started looking into my chart, it was like everything became to click. It was learning the transits, following those ebbs and flows made me understand and heal my body quicker than I have ever. Right? It was
Yeah.
like that awareness of going, oh, I have a vocabulary for it. And now I can take this to my provider and say, can we work on this? Instead of throwing everything at the wall and seeing what stuck, it was then dissected in a little in a way because I had the awareness, I had that vocabulary to say, I think we should work on this
That's awesome.
because of medical astrology.
So what has been like your biggest like story around for you, your journey with medical astrology and like really bringing awareness to something that you couldn't have vocabulary for before?
This last year, because I had learned medical astrology about 3 years ago, I put in my practice learning from different teachers, having a personal teacher that I go call on Zoom, and he'd give me all of these charts to walk me through. But it wasn't until that I embodied it that I saw the energy every day within myself or within my family, then I could have a voice for it. So even just last year, Jupiter really taught me a lot about medical astrology.
Because it was
And
transferring your moon, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
good. So I have a moon in Gemini. I have my
Yes.
North Node conjunct my moon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I think they're like 2 degrees apart.
Yeah.
With a North Node conjunct your any sign, it magnifies it. It makes things a lot stronger. With the moon is connected to your emotions, but it's also connected to your nourishment and your hormones. And Jupiter did this like funny little dance where it would go in transit and then retrograde and then transit. And so I got to really pay attention to what Jupiter was doing. And Jupiter is a planet that we know of as, that lucky, that planet where it's optimism and wisdom and all
Don't
of
go
those
by it. It's fine.
beautiful things, right?
Yes,
But we
absolutely.
don't think about Jupiter as expansion on everything, right?
Right.
Expansion on abundance, but expansion on all the things that are happening in your life.
And that's where it can also be a tricky one. And with it in Gemini, it was like expanding our minds, which maybe not always a good thing.
Yeah, and Jupiter is connected to the liver, and it's also connected to fat. It rules fat.
Oh,
And
cool.
so I got to see my physical body just getting large and swelling. With the moon, it's directly correlated to your hormones. And so my hormones were just all over the place. So I got blood work done, and my doctor's like, well, you don't have any hormones. You have what I call the buses for the hormones to jump into to go to the individual organs that it needs to, but there are no hormones jumping into the bus. And I don't understand why. And I'm like, I do, but I can't really explain it very well.
You're like, actually, let me tell you.
So it was a matter of like fine tuning and figuring out what Jupiter was shining a light on and how I could work with it instead of fight against it. Like I could do all the strict diets, but I was still gaining weight
Yeah.
until I started detoxing my liver and focusing on
Oh,
that specific organ and the hormones directed to my moon. That's when I started healing. That's when I started seeing the progress. But it wasn't until then that it did anything. Like I could be on only vegetables and meat and fruit and still gain weight. It was so bizarre.
yeah.
Yeah.
That makes so much
Um,
sense.
yeah. And now, like looking at it and understanding the transits really have then explained or gave me permission to rest, gave me permission
Mm,
to move my body, gave me permission to boost certain herbs and supplements when I needed that support. It gave me the awareness and that knowledge. And I have never felt so much better, like feeling well instead of fighting against these symptoms. That to me was so powerful. And it feels weird to say that I feel so good, but it is. It's like I feel so much better now than I did even a year ago.
yeah.
And knowing these transits, knowing the cycles has helped me navigate and stop pushing when sometimes I just need to relax and flow with what it is or push through it because I know that I'll have the energy to do it.
I love that so much. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm over here like wheels are turning like in my own
Well,
story because Jupiter's like transiting my sun right now with the the
yeah.
Cancer sun. So like I'm also having that experience, but for me because it's my sun, not my moon,
Yeah.
like my vitality
Yeah.
has
Good.
expanded. Like I've had more energy. And like,
Amazing.
yeah, and I'm, and for a long time that has not been the case. Julie is a manifester. I'm a projector. We're both non-sacral beings. We both are ruled by water. Our vitality is never always optimal. We need more rest than everyone else, maybe. Um, but this year I feel like I do have more of that, baseline level. I still have my days where I'm like, okay, today is a rest day. Today is we are
And we will always have those, right?
yeah, always. But like overall, my set point's a little higher than normal to say that,
Amazing.
which I'm like, yeah. And then right now, Mars in my first house giving me even more
Oh,
vitality.
see, yeah, Mars in the first house is awesome. It gives you so much more energy and motivation, and you can lift heavier. Honestly, I wake up when Mars is in the first house and I know it. I can feel like me walking down the stairs going, hell yeah,
So I'm like,
I'm gonna have energy this month.
yes, I'm like, I have to wait for Mars to get into Sagittarius and then it's game on.
That's true.
Of
Yeah.
course, it's like at the end of the year when you like want to slow down.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah,
your
but
Mars normally?
Mars is in the first house for me in Scorpio.
Okay.
So when it's in
Of course, your
Scorpio
Mars
for me,
Scorpio. Makes sense.
it is definitely a powerhouse. So when it's in its sign, right, it
So it
feels
just got done
well
being
in
in its
there.
sign. Yeah.
Yeah. When I learned about Scorpio first house, because first house again is your physical body, and learning about that was a game changer and aha moment of how much I had to detox compared to other
Yeah.
people. Scorpios are magnetic for everything,
Yeah.
including energetics, including toxins. And so detoxing had really shone a light on where I needed to direct my energy and feeling well. And Scorpio's connected to your intestines and the colon, the rectum, if we want to like get into the nitty-gritties.
Let's get
But
into
like
it.
it's the elimination, so pus, going to the bathroom, all of these things, even sweating is a detox method that Scorpio rules. And so when I learned that I have so much Scorpio in me, right? We've got
Yes.
Pluto ascending, Mars and Saturn. And so I have these lessons of really diving deep into knowing how to have that death and rebirth, that transformation of my physical body and how I need to cleanse it consistently.
Yeah.
And if you're Scorpio rising or a Scorpio that has blue eyes, you got to detox every day.
Okay.
Sweat, do
Sweat.
something.
Okay. How about Scorpio 12th house conjunct
Moon.
moon with
I would
green
say the
eyes?
same I would say the same thing, right? Like I think that you are magnetic and you hold on to that in the 12th house. It is a chronic house. It's
Of course it
chronic
is.
elements. It's hospitalizations, it's being confined in a place. So we're really having to work on that internally.
Mhm.
And the more you can do that behind closed doors, right? Because that 12th house we can't see, the better you can show up for yourself, for other people, for your communities.
Yeah. I've not had hospitalization, so
Yay!
knock on wood.
We don't have to knock on anything.
Knock on
That's not
anything.
going to happen.
But I do feel like a lot of my limiting beliefs um have felt like prisons and imprisonments.
Mm, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very 12th house.
Yeah. So breaking out of those is, is the what that where I see that more than like the hospitalizations and that. But that like for me, it's that mental space for sure. And then
Yeah.
Uranus is just right there. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's all and it changes, right?
Yeah.
With Uranus, it's that level of change and eruption, and you can change your mind about certain things, and that's okay.
I do that a
Uh,
lot.
yeah, I think that with it being in the 12th house, that's work. You have to really work on it all the time, and it's more that mentality and behind closed doors than anyone sees, right? Like you
Oh,
probably do much more than I even know because of that 12th house placement.
oh yeah. The amount of mental work I do on a daily day basis of really, again, it's Scorpio there. So it's like that death and rebirth of like shedding layers of myself and letting these things go and burning them to the ground.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I had this conversation with a friend of ours the other day. I was like, I have these like, and I love when we look at our big three, like they're like these three main characters of our life, right? So I have Cancer that's like nostalgic, that wants to hold on to everything. And then I have my Scorpio that just like wants to burn it all down to the ground and start from fresh. And
Yeah.
then like I have the Sag just like wants to just like leave
Mm-hmm.
the
The
story,
freedom.
the
Yep.
freedom. Like you know what?
Let's go.
Let's go. Like I'm just gonna cut and run.
You're being pulled in so many different places.
Right. But like, I feel like everyone has that. Like there's these versions of themselves, and all of them are you. It can be like coming back to like, yes, this is a big part of myself. I'm a very mothering, very nurturing person, but at the same time, I also need freedom.
Yeah.
And it's like understanding that they all get a seat at the table and they all are a part of you, and learning how to work with these energies together so they get equal weight and equal vision.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure when you intertwine that with the medical astrology, you get even more depth to the story.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, even there's an asteroid that we can look at in a specific medical reading about Hygeia, and how Hygeia
Writing that
gives
one
it.
down.
Yeah, it's number 10.
Number 10.
And
Okay.
if
I,
you want to like look it up in your
I
program or whatever, but it
yeah.
represents the maintenance
Okay.
of health and the prevention of it, the purification, the lifestyle that we as an individual kind of create or prevent illnesses over time. It's associated with taking care of our physical bodies on a daily basis, having a habit or rituals or mental balances and diets and energetic boundaries. Just what you were saying with the 12th house concept of like you really having to do mental gymnastics. I did look up your Hygeia just
Okay.
to make sure. And you actually have Hygeia in Aries in the 5th house.
Oh, I actually love that for me.
So yeah, right?
I'm like, yay, play. Fun.
And that's what I wrote down. Your joy is medicine.
I actually do deeply feel that. Also,
Yeah.
side note, part of fortune is also in the fifth house.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works perfectly.
No,
Creativity, pleasure, children, play, right? Like all of those things you're cultivating, but the joy is your medicine. So the more you can find that, the better your health can be.
I love that because that's like seriously one of the things that people who have been listening to the podcast for any length of time, that's like one of my like, I'm gonna die on this hill, is that like fun and play are so underrated
Yeah.
to our healing journey.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes we get into these healing journeys where we're constantly trying to undo layers and do the shadow work. And it's like we get stuck here
Yeah.
where, play and fun and really creative expression can get us just as much growth.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that that's part of my story.
Absolutely. I think that should be a part of everyone's story
Absolutely.
because we can't have just the depths. We need to have that joy. We need to find the light within the depth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's
Like,
all yes
yeah,
and.
yeah,
Like, yes, we need to look at these shadows. We need to like do the work, but also like don't stay there. Like, allow yourself the time to step into the light, step into the creative like energy, because that's where creative source energy lives, is in that
yeah,
creative space. So we need to connect to that as well
yeah,
to continue the healing work. So I feel like you need both. And I feel like some people
Yeah.
are like, oh, I don't want to do shadow work. That's dark and scary. I'm like, you need to do it. But you also like need to like live in the light. Like you need both. Like
We have to
just
be
like a
human.
plant. Yeah. Like a
Yeah.
plant needs both. It needs the darkness and it needs the light
Yeah.
to fully grow.
Yep. Exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's really powerful.
Yeah. All right. What else you got for me?
I didn't talk about the history behind
Okay. Yeah.
medical astrology. Just to give you like a little bit of insight, we've heard the word influenza, right?
Yes.
So we know like influenza, and you think, oh, the flu. So in Latin, that word refers to the influence of the planets and stars connected to the health.
Oh,
So basically, disease was considered celestial illness or celestial influence. Let's say that
I love
celestial
that.
influence. So in the 1700s, doctors were actually trained in some sort of astrology, medical astrology, to look at Venus specifically, or the moon or Jupiter, and kind of decipher from that, and specifically that their own patients, whether to give them certain herbs or change up their diet in order for them to feel well. And I thought, gosh, wouldn't that be so fun if you could walk into your doctor and your doctor's like, what's your birthday, time, and location? And then pull up your chart and then look at like certain aspects and transits that have happened over the last 6 months and go, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be so fun?
That be like that's the world that I want to sign up for. Let's just let's just, we're kind of burning down the medical system as we speak. Like it's totally like being razed to the ground.
I
Let's like
know.
build it back up where that's like the commonality. Like that's what we look to first.
Yeah.
And then we like look to other things. I think it all goes down to like the things that we were doing 2, 3,000 years ago. Let's like that's the magic.
Right? Yeah, I love looking at Ayurvedic and how even those herbs and spices can be more beneficial, cold or warmth in your body. We've lost something along the
Oh,
way. We've lost the tool of understanding even just herbs and plants and how amazing those can be for our physical healing and for our physical body. There's a guy, same time period, 17th century, Nicholas Culpeper.
okay.
He has a bunch of like herb books out there, but he was an herbalist and an astrologer that correlated his practice and forming those two and seeing that there was a connection that influence both the human health and the heavens above, is what he kind of called it. And the positions of the planet and the moon and the stars could affect the body's balance and influence of the health. And then found the herbs that correlated towards the planets to help your system feel well.
That's
And
so
so he,
cool.
he found like this, oh, the earth has this and it's correlated to these stars, and then the human body needs this or is lacking of that, and would give that to them and they would feel better.
Where's this book? I need to get this book.
I'll send it to you. I can't
Okay.
remember what the name of
Yeah,
it's
I'll
called,
make
but
sure
it's if you look up Nicholas Culpeper, like herbalist, there's
okay.
a big chunky book that has all of the herbs and then the planetary zodiac information.
Okay. I'll make sure it's in the show notes, people. So
Mm.
you can just like go right there. There's the link and you can check
Yeah.
this out for yourself. But
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
The more advanced we get, the more we need to go back to basics.
Yeah. Going back to just eating clean and not having so many things to throw at the wall that I'm like, oh, I can make this so simple and have it be nutritious for my body and make me feel well. Yeah, just
Yeah.
so helpful.
And then we could look at the stars and be like, oh, based on this placement, these are the foods that are going to be more aligned for your body and your energy type. When people say that there's not like some divine creator that creates all this, that puts this all together, I'm like, how could you not believe that we were just plonked on this earth when we have so many things like plants knowing the planets, knowing the stars that really do give us so much guidance if we understand them that
Yeah.
help lead us back to where we need to go. Like
Yeah.
there's wisdom in all these things, but we've cut that part off from ourselves.
Yeah. Our bodies want to communicate with us.
Oh yeah.
It's just that we have to listen. And in any given day, if we're not listening, that adds up.
Yeah.
That
And
creates the illness. That creates the emotional chaoticness.
that dis-ease within the body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that you use the word dis-ease.
I call it disease. I love it. I heard that once and I'm like, it just like stuck. And I'm like, yes, that's totally what has been created is you have created disease in your body and now it's presenting. And now it's presented in the physical form. It's going to be harder to get rid of. Where if you really like worked on the emotions before they formatted into an illness, you have more control over that and creating and healing that.
Mm-hmm.
But once it gets into that physical form, it's harder to unwrap that a little bit more.
Yeah. The mind and the body connection is so powerful. And if we're forgetting one simple thing,
because I feel like that's what we're missing is we're missing that deep connection with the body. And it's so fun that we have these tools that we can rely on because so much of the programming that we are going through these days is to disconnect us from ourselves, to disconnect us from that connectivity. And what have you found to be tools to help you reconnect to your body and listening to your body's wisdom?
okay. I have found that the first house was transformative when I learned about my rising sign and the planets that were in that system or in that house. Everything made more sense. And so when I gave it a voice, when I could see what the planets were trying to communicate to me, and I said, that sounds really bizarre, but my body was like craving it, but I wasn't hearing that energy. And so with medical astrology, it gave me that knowledge of this is what this planet needs in this first house. And this is how we execute it and how to best support it by herbs, by moving our body, by going out in nature, by wearing certain clothes or colors to really cultivate that energetic component. That's when I started to like move forward. And that's when I was able to understand what my body was actually telling me. And so there's so much chaos that was happening. And when I was focused on that first house, it helped me solidify a lot of things that didn't need to be there, but could have that focal point.
I love that. So, for the first house, because that's your sense of self, like that's your body, right? Within medical astrology. If you're willing, let's just say like one thing each sign could do that can help kind of move the needle just a tad. Okay. All right. So let's start with Aries. Like, what's one thing an Aries rising can do to like move the needle?
Move.
I would agree.
Exert, right? Exert that energy. If you are stationary, get up and just have a walk, right?
Okay.
Or put yourself first, right? Like maybe Aries risings do put themselves first, but take that initiative.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
With the Aries rising, I see it's like I can see the stagnation actually happening when they're not moving their bodies.
And first house also deals with coping with stress. And maybe with an Aries, it would be like calm down a little bit. Go more into meditative.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
That was rude. No, just meditation. If you're feeling that fiery energy, maybe go move your body, but also get back into alignment with yourself and have that. And meditation can look like any number of things by moving your body and walking around, having a walking meditation instead of sitting alone in your room cross-legged, right? There's a lot of ways that people meditate.
I love that. Okay. Now our Taurus rising.
Taurus. Taurus, being consistent. Taurus love the luxuries,
Yes, they
right? They
do.
love
They
luxury
bougie.
food, gourmet food. Maybe take the initiative and understand that all of those luxury things may not be helpful. They could be hurtful to your physical
Mm.
body.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so now we have Gemini rising.
Gemini, the chatty bunch. Nervous system work.
Oh, yeah.
We need to work on the nervous system. Our central nervous system is correlated to, Mercury is that ruling planet in Gemini, and Mercury is about the nervous system. So if we can give nutritive herbs to help soothe, that is beneficial. So if you're high and wiry and all sorts of places, valerian is a great one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cancer rising.
Cancer.
Cancer rising.
Cancer. Digestion. Really
Mm.
working on your stomach and not putting all of your emotions in your stomach and holding it there. Taking digestive enzymes is really important, and having warmer foods. The more comfort of that warmth for your stomach is better for your digestion.
Okay, I love that. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on to Leos.
What do they want? Leos are funny because it's a double-edged sword.
Mm.
So Leo doesn't feel ailments because they're ruled by the sun. They have a lot of vitality,
Oh, yeah.
but they don't listen to those tiny little red flag moments.
Okay.
And so when they are sick, they do get sick worse because
Okay.
they haven't taken care of their bodies in that way. I've run into people that are a Leo or Leo rising. Oh, I can eat anything. It's totally fine in my body. And then later on in their life, they're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that because I'm trying to reverse some of the things that I've done in my younger years. So just be more aware of taking care of your body, not, yeah, just be more of an awareness towards it because they are so high vitality. That is a double-edged sword,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that makes sense. Okay, now we're at
Virgo.
risings.
Virgos just know how to take care of their bodies. I would also say that valerian would be a good one because it is also ruled by Mercury. So it's that nervous system, but it's also about blood sugar and the pancreas and your digestion, your small intestine. Yeah, just making sure that they're controlling their blood sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Virgo risings, you heard it. All right, okay. Now moving on to our Libra risings.
Libra is all about balance, right? We're always having to make sure that everyone has what they need. Making sure that you have what you need is another, putting yourself and giving yourself, filling up your cup as well. But also, with Libra risings, we're worried about kidneys, the kidney functions. So drink your water, Libras and Geminis. The little chatty bunch, forget to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now the Scorpio rising. You know this one well.
Gosh. Detox. If you want to eat foods that are high in calcium sulfate, sulfates actually detox the body. That's a really good one. And get in touch with your digestion, your digestive tract, the elimination. If you are not eliminating, go to enemas, go to coffee enemas, colonics. Really have a vocabulary around that elimination process. And if you're not pooping every day, then we got a problem, peeps.
Okay. Okay, Scorpio risings, you really need to poop every day. I'm gonna check in on my Scorpio rising here. See if she's doing okay. All right. Okay, moving on to Sagittarius risings. What do we need to do?
Sagittarius need to move their bodies every day. They are that horse mentality. They like to eat, but eat like a horse. Those those grains and vegetables, and they do need meat in their lives and vegetables, right? That fiber consistency is really powerful for Sag.
That's why I love the winter, because I eat my oats every day.
Yeah, right. They
Yeah.
love, yeah, horses, if you think that they love oats, they love oats. And so, yeah, eating like the horse is is a good image, because then you can see, okay, what does a horse do? It runs, it moves, it has muscle, it wants the freedom. Get that freedom and move your body and step outside of trying to take care of everyone, and have that freedom and soak up the knowledge of something.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do love to learn all the time. All right, so that leaves us to Capricorn.
Capricorns have a difficult placement for rising signs, because when we look at your first house, we look at how that was in your youth.
Okay.
And with Cap risings, you're more likely to see people that have had quite the ride with their physical body, whether aches and pains or illnesses of some sort. It's that structure of ruling of Saturn that really puts you in your place. And Saturn is a disciplined planet, but it gives you a lot of lessons to learn. And Capricorns just have a lot of ailments that could come up, and we're talking about bones, teeth, skin, the connective tissue. If you think about a physical body, everything that is holding up your body, that's ruled by Capricorn and Saturn. So making sure that you have squeaky clean teeth, going to the dentist, flossing.
Capricorn's got to be flossing. No skipping your flossing.
But to have a structure to work within that framework of being disciplined, because you have to.
I'm glad I'm not a Capricorn rising.
I have seen some ripped Caps.
Well, they know how to put in the work.
They have the muscle. They are like structured and built. And yeah, I can always pick out a Capricorn rising or like full Capricorn's house. And it's just, yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and just another tip about Saturn specifically. If you see Saturn transiting and going into your 6th house, you will most likely have to deal with your teeth. Something will happen. So if it's in your 5th house, get your teeth done, get your teeth checked by
in the 6th house or the 5th house?
Well, in the 6th house, it could make things worse. So what I've done, or have told other people, is like, if it's in your 5th house, you've got 2.5 years to really like dive into your dental work.
Oh, gotcha.
And then once it hits the 6th, then you're not having like enormous amounts of work to be done with your teeth, like a root canal. Heaven forbid nobody gets a root canal, but it's those kind of things where you're having to go, oh crap, I have to spend an enormous amount of time in a dental office.
Yeah, that's good to know. So be looking at where it's at on your chart. Plan ahead.
That's a good tip, you guys.
Yeah, she just saved you so much on your dental bill.
I did.
She did. Okay, now we got to go to my favorite, the Aquarius risings.
Aquarius also needs to remember to drink water. They are mineral deficient, as well as Capricorns. Capricorns are ruled by the minerals, but Aquarius, they forget to drink water, they forget to eat, and it
might be little aliens.
Yeah, and it's like they eat little bits and they're like, oh, I don't think I've eaten today. And you're like, okay, you got to put in the nutrition. Your metabolism is going to go do all number of things. So Aquarius needs to be out of their head and more into their body, right? They're thinking on this higher level, outside of their body, and really not focusing on their physical body and what it has to say. Just like, the opposite sign of Leo, where they're like, oh, I feel great. Aquarians can like really truly forget that they have a physical body. So having having some sort of practice where they're in their bodies. And for all those people that are Aquarius risings, Pluto is in your first house. So it's going to pull up all of that stuff to the surface, all of those toxins, and really having to navigate how Pluto moves and not detoxifies, but it toxifies our body. So yeah, really making sure and watching that transit.
Okay. So Aquarius risings, up your detox game.
Yeah. Yeah.
During this trend. It's going to be there for a hot minute.
And feel your physical body. Like know that you have a body that you have to take care of. I think that's really, really important.
Okay. All right. And last but definitely not least, definitely not least, Pisces rising.
Pisces eat more fish, have more grounded root vegetables. I think that will help them not feel so like pulled in different ways and more ethereal than human. Neptune is come back into Pisces for a little while longer, but it will exit your chart, so you will feel more vitality. Neptune has like made everyone Pisces rising very lethargic.
Yeah.
And more dream state than physical. So luckily for them, that is going to be moved out and feeling more well. But also with Saturn there, Saturn's like, no, we're going to like get structure to our physical body. A lot of times I see that people like start a good workout routine and start putting their physical health first, which is great. Because again, Pisces does get pulled in different directions and they forget about taking care of their body.
Yeah.
And again, there's that water sign. Drinking a lot of water can be really helpful. But yeah, write down. Pisces needs to like write down the food that they eat.
Okay, so they need to be doing the food journaling.
Aquarius and Pisces, they need to understand like what they're putting in their body, because sometimes they're really not even here in order for them to understand what they're eating, you know?
Yeah.
They could be somewhere completely daydreaming in other dimensions and forget that they've just had a whole bag of chips. So,
oh, okay. So this in that same realm, like that escapism without realizing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you put in the escapism, it's okay to escape. With Pisces risings, with Pisces in general, it's okay for an escape, because that's how we can cope with some of the emotions that we feel on a daily basis all the time,
yeah,
right?
Because you guys feel so much more than like everybody else. So you like, I feel like you almost need that unplug from reality to like ground even.
Yeah. Find an escape that's healthy.
Yes. There's a good tip for all Pisces energy. Because it kind of sometimes can go the other direction.
Yeah, that can keep you in check, right? Yeah. That you can keep yourself in check, but it's okay to have that escape, because we do need that.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to have that. And I think a lot of times people, once they get that permission of like, oh, I can have that escape, I don't have to go to, alcohol, drugs, or prescriptions to get myself out of it. I can feel it, but also escape to a really wonderful and trashy TV show or a book that you want to watch, escapes.
I love a good trashy novel or some good TV. But yeah, and I think across the board, like I think everyone, the reality that we're living in right now, the world that we're living in, it's really hard to be sovereign, to be sane sometimes. So like escapism is a necessity, but just do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have to unplug from that so it doesn't pull you under.
Bringing in that play again. We got to play. We got to get ourselves out of some of those heavy things that we're all experiencing right now.
And all those heavy things are necessary because they're helping deconstruct so that we can rebuild. And knowing that alone, like we're going through this for a good purpose. Don't let it pull you under. Don't buy into it 100%.
Yeah.
and allowing yourself to just be that sovereign being within yourself is so important right now. And again, unplug as much as you can from it all
in a healthy way.
in a healthy way. I mean, and maybe sometimes a little unhealthy way within
We're all
boundaries.
human.
We're all human. Nobody's judging you here.
No, not at all.
Not at all. I feel like this has been such a great conversation. Thank you so much for being on. How can people find you?
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. You can find me on my website, comboco.com, KAMBOCO, or on Instagram, the same handle, comboco.
Yeah, and you can schedule a medical astrology reading where she will go over all your
Yeah.
placements and tell you all the ways that you need to fix yourself.
No. Oh, but I do give specific, even we do solar water. I
Okay.
love looking at people's transits, or like the square, the aspects, so the squares, the oppositions, and then the sextiles and the trines, and making solar water, your birthday water, because that's like the best time to
Dang
create
it.
that water. You've got your trine water as well, and I can give you like times on that, and we go over Bach flowers and essence. So we're looking at what emotionally you need, looking at your chart, and then giving lots of information, whether you're going through something symptom wise. We can give you lots more information on that.
It's been on my like to-do list forever. I mean, I need to schedule my own so I can get all the juice on like what I could do to like be more optimal in my human form. Thank you so much for being on. Please reach out to Julie if you have any questions. She will be a contributor to Ignite Your Type, which I'm excited for her to bring her magic within that container. Until next time, we'll see you later. Much love.
Bye.
Bye.